Okay.
Like, they moved to Florida because he remembered his life and he was very sad that he was no longer in Florida.
If multiple universes exist, okay, and we have one God that created the universe, and
that's just James.
So the thing is, I just learned. I was up really late the other night. I couldn't sleep, and then so these two videos found me. One of an old guy saying, "Don't waste your time. You're up late scrolling on your phone." Right now, it's probably an AI video. You know, this I call them soap operas, but it hit me. It was like this old man was like, you know, you're wasting your time. He says, there will be an end to everything. There will be the last time you say "I love you" to somebody. There will be the last time you hug somebody. The last time you pick up one of your kids. You know, and it was really hard.
You hold them like a baby.
Yeah, it was the last time they say, you know, what's the thing that James says, that pack. You know, instead of backpack, he'll say pack. There'll be a last time for that. Anyways, multiverse, right? Multi-universes. Why would Hollywood spend so much time talking about that? Why do we have a Mandela effect? Why do I remember the Berenstein bears?
You're so confused. You don't even know which one.
Well, because of the Mandela effect and what they've told me, it's Berenstain. I'm like, that's not it. It was not Stain, because I would have remembered Stain as like a stain in your shirt, you know, something like that. But I actually had the book, and then remember when I tried to show you that book that I had that came with an audio tape? They said that never existed. And then they're like, oh, just kidding. That's very rare, but we basically can't find a copy of it. And I even asked my mom, my dad, and my dad barely remembers anything, but his memories, but even he kind of remembers it. My mom definitely remembers it. That was one of my favorite books, you know. And it's I called it the Haunted Mansion, but it was the Mansion Mystery.
Mansion Mystery.
The Mansion Mystery is the name of the Berenstein book. But yeah, you look at the spelling of it, and they got the A in there. I'm like, nah. They came with an audio tape, but that's the thing. That's the part that doesn't exist, is the audio tape. And I used to put it in my. There was a cartoon called Shirt Tales. Okay, it's an old '80s thing, and I had a yellow tape recorder. It was like a portable battery operated thing, and you put tapes in it, and it played, you know, it had a little speaker, and it had the characters on it, the cartoons. It was bright yellow, and it had a microphone, and we would just remember my friend Billy and I would just goof off and scream and yell into it, you know, grab the microphone and just, you know, kids do that. James and Leo do it all the time. But so what happens if there's if multi-use universes are supposed to exist? How can that be possible? How can that be possible? One God. Did he create multiple? Some people say, oh, he created multiple planets and all that. There's all these different people everywhere and stuff. Well, okay, so if he created everything, that's where this equation gets simple. This equation was given to me in a vision.
So what if he did create multiple layers of...
The thing is what if every outcome needed to exist in order for every outcome to be possible, because he knows that we are possible for any outcome because we have the free will that he gave us. He gave it to the angels, and some angels chose to...
Okay, so if that's the case, then every choice we make
is infinite.
Is changing things.
Infinite.
So like we could be on one path
right now.
And then we decide
it hasn't happened yet.
And then all of a sudden it'll put us into another...
some other timeline that already exists. Because remember, I told you the future is there, but it's not quite built yet, because it depends on what we do.
Depends on our choices.
But does the future affect the past? Yes. So does the present affect the past?
Okay, so you know that...
Does it affect the future? Yes. It goes every direction.
You know the feeling of deja vu?
Yeah. I've had that a lot.
Our subconscious is
catching up.
Or
no, our conscious is catching up to the new timeline. Yeah. We're merging into a new timeline.
That's why it feels familiar, because you feel like you've already done this.
But you're just you're going into a new one.
Like there's no absolute memory of it, but you know that you have felt this feeling. You've touched this sand. You've touched this. You've breathed
you've been there, you know, about a second or two ahead, and all of a sudden it fades away, and you're like, wow. I had one so bad. I looked at Trevor and when I was working at Parks Automotive, this back in 2004-ish, early 2004. I said, everything started, I'm like, there's going to be a loud noise, and something like, king in the shop, you know, and I said, service writer, the phone's going to ring right now. And I said, he's going to pick it up. And I said, he's going to say something about it's going to sound really goofy what he's saying. He's going to laugh. And then I said, and I looked at Trevor and I said, I'm getting fired today. He went, what? He's like, what are you talking about? He's like, no, you're not getting fired. And so the way you knew you were getting fired is everybody get their checks handed to them in an envelope. And when you didn't get your envelope handed to you, you go into the office, hey, where's my envelope? Hey, here it is, you're fired. I didn't get no envelope. And Trevor's eyes got this big. He's like, no. Like, he was like, he saw it. He's like, you didn't get your envelope. And I went in and I got fired. And he's like, how did you know that? I'm like, I told you I had some really severe deja vu, but for some reason I knew ahead of time that was my last day. And I told you I was getting fired today. And he's like, no way, but how? And I said, that was the most severe deja vu I have ever had happened to me, or, you know, whatever in my life, ever. You know what happened a few months after that? I had my quad accident. So on that timeline, a lot of things changed from who I used to be, okay? Who I used to be, who I am now. Completely different. Okay, my whole everything changed. That accident changed everything in my life. And so I want to show you how you can have infinite possibilities, right? One God created everything, right? Is that God infinite in himself? He is the Alpha and the Omega. That's beginning and end. Well, at what point do you begin? What point do you end? In the vision of how I was shown how the entire everything works, right? Through electromagnetism, all energy comes from the Father. This right here, and what's funny is it'll be backwards in the video, but that is 1 equals infinity, okay? That's the equation. There are infinite versions of us, and I'm not saying that we coexist simultaneously. It's kind of like he knows everything about everything. There's every possibility that's ever been done. So 1 equals infinity, meaning that it all comes back down to 1. There's one of you. There's only one you. There's only one me. And there's only one God. And so, but there's infinite possibilities that he has given us because we have free will. Free will equals infinity because, you know, you breathe wrong, you choke on something, you could die or whatever. But what if you died, but you weren't supposed to die? And this actually is in the book of Adam and Eve, which they took out of the Bible, or wasn't ever in the Bible.
Also, yes, that is painted on our living room.
Oh yeah,
wall.
we have graffiti. We have a graffiti wall. You know, it's always against the law for kids to write on the walls, and so we just said, screw it, just have fun. Just, you're not allowed to paint over. We have to remodel the wall anyway, so we figured we could have fun. We were never allowed to do that as kids, so why not? We got cool guys like this hanging out on the wall, you know, and stuff like that. So anyways, but the equation 1 equals infinity. You could even say it backwards. Infinity equals 1. Appeared, and I started thinking about it. I'm like, well, that's kind of a weird equation, you know, but I think it combats everybody's chalkboards full of math. I think your chalkboards full of math are too complicated. You're overthinking it, and if you start with something simple, then you can let everything blossom from that, if you're allowed to even do that. But that right there is proof. And the dreams that happen, there's something about alternate timelines where if you have died, you wouldn't even know it if you're supposed to exist. In the book of Adam and Eve, Adam fell headlong and drowned in the river, and the Lord came and picked him back up, and he was alive again. He basically had to resuscitate him multiple times. Eve too, like she was out in the middle of the river and all this crazy stuff happening. So Adam and Eve died multiple times in life while they're, after they got kicked out of the garden. And this is according to the book of Adam and Eve. There's two books, and it was very interesting because they have relationship issues like every every relationship happens now. We go through the same stuff they went through. So those are our parents. Those are our forefathers. That's our mom and dad. All right, and so they struggled with everything that we struggle with. But they also died multiple times from cataclysmic things happening, accidents, tripping, falling, and whatever. They didn't even have any food at first, and they were basically starving to the point of dying and collapsing. And God provided them with food and stuff like that, and helped them had to teach them how to farm and do things like that. So I wasn't even trying to get off on that subject, but it happens to coincide with the 1 equals infinity. So this is a crazy sounding theory, but I've tried to test against it to see if it's just some fever dream, or I had too much Chipotle the night before I went to bed and had weird dreams. But the thing is that it seems to actually hold up. So 1 equals infinity. I'm testing it against complex things. So try it out. See what you think. 1 equals infinity. That's something God gave me. So sending it back out to you. I've had some dreams, and I'm going to start posting my dreams, and hopefully no copyrights or anything happen, because I'm not trying to play music or anything. And there's time for that, but right now it's just story time. So all right, well, God bless everybody. You guys, thank you for watching. Sorry I took too long talking, but had a lot to say.